Yo, what is going on YouTube? It's your boy Dan, aka aDrive. But guys, our team builder and pregame press conference here for week 11 of WBE. The Minnesota Vikavolts are taking on the Nm Nuzleafs. I'm so sorry that I said that name wrong because I know I did. And Coach Automatic. Otto took over for another team earlier this season. He is the web designer for the WBE. Really cool dude, and we got our work cut out for us in this matchup. I'll break down the matchup. We'll talk about everything going on there. Talk about my team, what I'm bringing, etc. We got some really cool stuff this week I think you guys are going to like. And we'll just kind of jump into things, I would say. We're sitting at 8-2. We officially locked down a playoff spot. I'm looking to move to 9-2, which I think would be pretty good. And then the next 2 weeks after this are going to be two of the toughest weeks we've had against Wolf Glick and the Bewares and Joey, Pokey Aim, and the Bear Tick. So we got some pretty tough bears coming up at the end of the schedule here. Be sure to hit that like button down below. Subscribe if you guys are new. If you haven't seen last week's battle, it was a slobber knocker. It was a thriller. I think you guys, a lot of people really enjoyed it, man. It was definitely one of the hypest battles we've had this season. And just so you guys know, Nidoking was indeed Life Orb. Life Orb negates the recoil, or I'm sorry, sheer force ability from Nidoking negates the recoil of Life Orb. So for those who don't know that mechanic, I'll explain it further another time when I do the battle or whatever, but that's the gist there. Anyway, let's talk about his team. He's got a Clefable. I expect it to be pretty defensive with Flamethrower, Moonblast, maybe Calm Mind. It could be a Stealth Rock setter. There's also a chance that he goes offensive Clefable with speed to try to outspeed Skarmory. Wouldn't be surprised to see something like that. We've got Latios. I really expect Latios to be Choice Scarf in this matchup. I think it's a really good revenge killer because Psyshock's so good. I could just carry coverage for everything on my team, and Choice Scarf is really good. I don't really think, because it kind of needs that speed, right? Like outspeed Manectric, outspeed LycanROCK, outspeed, you know, other Choice Scarfers that I might have, like Kyurem. Definitely think it comes Scarf. If it doesn't come Scarf, it could be like, just like DD, which sounds kind of funny, but like Dragon Dance could be a thing. Otherwise, just like Soul Dew probably to boost its Psyche and Dragon moves. Raku, most likely, there's two different Rakus that I could see coming, maybe three. One is the shiny variant that's Rash Nature, does get Aura Sphere. Titanium Z could be a thing to try to break through like Kyurem Black. I could also potentially see like a sub-calm mindset with HP Ice and Thunderbolt, but I don't think that's that good in this matchup. Most likely, I think it's going to be like an offensive, maybe Assault Vest set, or maybe like Toxic or something like that. Slowbro, definitely physically defensive if it comes. It's a good thing to kind of check Kyurem. It also checks things like Florges pretty well. It can kind of deal with a lot of things except for like Mega Manectric basically. It's really good against like LycanROCK and Talonflame and stuff. So I definitely think Slowbro could come physically defensive. Cobalion could be another Stealth Rock setter. I think Clefable most likely has rocks, but Cobalion in this matchup, I feel like probably is physical. Close Combat, Iron Head, Volt Switch. Maybe Stealth Rocks, maybe Magnet Rise could be kind of cool. Could be special with like Flash Cannon and Focus Blast, but I do feel like the physical set is better. You always got to be mindful of Cobalion because it can run like Rock Polish Swords Dance. I don't think it runs that though because of Skarmory and Florges and the various defensive Pokemon I have, because Gastrodon stuff. I think Volt Switch on it is really good though, so I have to be very mindful of that. Salazzle could be a nasty plotter. I don't necessarily think Scarf makes a lot of sense. I think it's more of a breaker, so maybe a Z move, Life Orb, nasty plot, maybe a Fake Out potentially, but Sledge Wave, Hidden Power, Grass, and a Fire Blast or Flamethrower definitely make a lot of sense to at least start the set. Yanmega is really scary because Tinted Lens allows it to hit really hard against Pokemon that even resist it. Florges and Skarmory do a pretty good job of slowing it down though, so I don't necessarily expect Yanmega to come. Speed boosting could be a cleaner, but I just don't think it's that good when you have Skarmory and Florges that can both sponge its hits. But it does get coverage for Gastrodon. But my opponent has a pretty big weakness to LycanROCK, so that's something they'll have to keep in mind in building this team. Tangela, very bulky grass type. I think it has a possibility to come just because it does check LycanROCK really well. It can slow down Manectric with a little bit of special defense investment. It's a pretty good switch to a lot of things, but like I still have, you know, Kyurem Black, I still have Skarmory, I still have, you know, Talonflame, which are pretty scary for Tangela. Volibee I don't think comes at all, dude. It would come with Eviolite. It would just be like really defensive, most likely with like knockoff, maybe like Taunt or something, Defog. And then Mega Camerupt, which is actually in playtesting, I'll tell you, this thing is actually a monster threat. I feel like Camerupt kind of loses a little bit of kind of effectiveness because it's so slow and because it has that massive water weakness, but Earth Power and Fire Blast are so strong because it does have Sheer Force, so it does just get really powerful stab type attacks. You can carry like Ancient Power or Rock Slide, and it can also have some other kind of tech like Heavy Slam and stuff like that, so gotta be very mindful of that. I expect Clefable, Lati, Cobalion, Raikou, Slowbro, and Camerupt are the 6 that I expect, because I just feel like those Pokemon kind of cover all the bases. I do think Salazzle or Tangela could kind of fit into the matchup over maybe like Camerupt, but those are the 6 that I'm definitely expecting. So basically the top row plus Camerupt. there. So that's kind of what I built around, but I think we have everything covered. So hopefully we'll be in pretty good shape to pick up a W. So let's talk about the team that I'm bringing. I'm gonna kick things off with Gary the Gastrodon, baby. We've got that sassy, very specially defensive Gastrodon. This thing is meant to do a lot of things, right? So it's meant to slow down the Cobalion. It's meant to slow down and beat the Camerupt with Scald that can take, you know, an Earth Power or a Fire Blast from it. If he's running Hidden Power Grass, then obviously that's a good play there. But we got the Rindo Berry. The key to the Gastrodon plays this week is really just timing that Rindo Berry, using it effectively, because if I use it the right way, I get a kill on Raikou, I get a kill on Cobalion, I get a kill on Salazzle, I get a kill on Camerupt, right? So, like, there's a lot of reasons that Gastrodon is super good in this matchup. Toxic is there primarily for the Lati switch in and also to find out if the Clefable is Magic Guard or Unaware. I feel like both of those are possible. And Toxic is also super good for Slowbro. So, those are a couple things there, and just makes it like a really viable Pokemon. But we're very specially defensive, and again, I got that Rindo to stop that Grass attack one time. We're bringing Kyurem Black, baby, and it's a very standard Kyurem to what I've been bringing a lot of this season. However, I am bringing Brave Nature. I felt like my opponent has some interesting speed tiers where they have some really fast stuff and then some really slow stuff, so nothing too much in the middle. So I'm actually going to run a minus speed Nature because I feel like I'll still outspeed Clefable, and that's really the only thing sitting in the middle speed tiers. Volibee, Tangrowth, or Tangela, Camerupt are all really slow. Slowbro is really slow, and then everything else is faster than Kyurem anyway. So I was able to run the Brave Nature, which is pretty cool. And this is one of those reasons that like speed tiers are so important in Draft League, because I'm free to run Brave Nature against my opponent here, whereas if they had, you know, a Pokemon that sit at like base 80 or so speed, like a fighting type or something, like I have Passimian, I would have to run like Naive or Hasty or just Adamant in general to not lower my speed. But I've got Free Shock, ICMZ Free Shock. I just feel like, while I don't think the Z Free Shock set is the best set this week, I think it's a necessary set because Calm Mind Raikou and Calm Mind Clefable are both very scary threats, and what Kyurem does is it comes in on both of those and it could just one-shot them both with the ICMZ Free Shock. So that was kind of my logic there. Like, I really wanted to make sure I had that as an option. Cobalion's a pretty good switch into this thing, but I do have the opportunity to substitute on some things, maybe get an Earth Power off. Fusion Bolt plus Earth Power does one-shot offensive Cobalion, or two-shot rather. I wish I had Ice Beam. I had to make a decision between Substitute and Ice Beam. I'm going with Substitute because it kind of eases the prediction game. And I went with Earth Power over Ice Beam again because I feel like the only thing that Ice Beam really helps most with is really the Lati, because I'm gonna Free Shock anyway. So, and Fusion Bolt is gonna do a lot to the Yanmega and the Volibee if it's brought. So Slowbro kind of walls me, but I mean Fusion Bolt runs through it, but it can take some hits, switch out, make some predictions, so it's gonna be kind of tough to work around that. But I think this is, like I said, maybe not the best Kyurem set this week, but I feel like it was a necessity to have the Z Free Shock just in case Clefable or Raikou are Calm Mind, because neither there's like I outspeed Clefable one-shot it, and then Raikou generally doesn't do a ton to Kyurem anyway. And I have Max Bulk because of that, which is nice. So I can run Max Bulk, Max Attack because I'm running Brave Nature, so that's pretty cool. I got Florges next. This is the pretty standard Florges. I don't want Protect this week though. I'm running Toxic instead. Defog's really important. Got to keep those hazards off the field. It's been a really important piece of the puzzle this season for me, especially when I bring Talonflame. Got to keep those hazards off the field. But Wish, Moonblast, Toxic, Defog. With the leftovers, Calm, Max Defense, can take 2 Psyshocks from Scarf Lati, which is really cool. Otherwise, Moonblast is just really good to kind of chunk some things. Toxic's there to whittle things down like Slowbro and stuff. So primarily just a middle ground switch into like a Lati. Can take, you know, kind of switch into Clefable, Toxic, Slowbro, Raikou, things like that, just like generally. And it's like the only thing that can switch into Camerupt on my team, so I can at least Toxic or Wish. So we've got some options there. Next we're bringing our LycanROCK this week. I have the shiny spray on the screen, and I'm actually not bringing the shiny one, which is kind of weird. I should have the shiny one. Anyway, I think it's like one of the only things on my team that's not shiny. Anyway, Jolly, Tough Claws, Life Orb, pretty standard stuff, dude. Max Speed to speed tie with Lati. Sucker Punch is there for Choice Scarf Lati. We actually have like an 87% chance to one-shot Lati with Sucker Punch, which is massive. Iron Head does like 70% to Clefable. Drill Run is doing a lot to Raikou and Cobalion, and I can Excel Rock the Salazzle. This gives me a check to the Yanmega. So Slowbro and Tangle are the only 2 things that really stop this LycanROCK. I can really beat everything else on the team. So this LycanROCK is poised to put in a lot of work. It is definitely a late game cleaner. The hope is that I can chip things down, kind of eliminate the Slowbro or weaken it enough, get my LycanROCK in, and then be able to win the game from there. But it's going to be definitely pretty tricky. I do think LycanROCK is a really good matchup though. Like I said, if I can weaken some things, it pretty much just wins. One good thing going for me is the Raikou. If it runs Aura Sphere for Kyurem, it has to be Rash Nature, which lowers its, it doesn't give it the max speed, so LycanROCK is faster than Aura Sphere Raikou, so there's a chance that they just run Timid. So a couple things to note. But yeah, LycanROCK is definitely put in a situation here where it should be able to put in some work and hopefully pick up a lot of kills for me. Bring in Mega Manectric. This thing just has a tremendous matchup as well. I've got the Volt Switch, Thunderbolt, Hidden Power, Water, and Signal Beam. HP Water has a chance to one-shot max defense camera up. Very low chance, but there is a chance. Signal Beam does like 50 to 70% on the laddie depending on its spread, which is very good there. Volt Switch just looks really good. The only thing that really wants to take a Volt Switch on the team is the laddie or the camera up. So if it's not Scarf laddie, you know, I can Signal Beam it and do a lot of damage. I can Volt Switch out on things. I can kind of get some intel there. And again, Hidden Power Water hits his one ground type. I pretty much have to bring Manectric because it does outspeed the Salazzle, Cobalion, and nukes the Slowbro, so it's very good against my opponent's team. And that Intimidate, once it Mega Evolves, could be handy against something like, you know, the Cobalion or something mid to late game. So definitely a really important bring this match. My opponent doesn't have a good matchup against Manectric, so I think that we can definitely put in some work there. And then last but not least is going to be Fox, our Talonflame. Bringing that Choice Banded Talonflame set with the Gale Wings. This is a very offensive Talonflame, Flare Blitz, Brave Bird, U-Turn. We have a really high chance to two-shot Clefable if it's max defense with leftovers. It's like a 60% chance, so like a pretty good chance. If it has any bit of chip damage on it, we do two-shot it on entry. The only thing that really wants to switch into this thing is Slowbro. Otherwise, I just click Brave Bird against everything, and that's the beauty. Early game, if Slowbro's there, I just U-turn, and we're just chunking it for like 50% on the super effective U-turn. It's probably like 40%, but yeah, so that's really good there. If it's not Scarf Laddie, I don't have to predict. I can just U-turn on that. I can U-turn on a lot of things. And then we have the late game Tailwind potential for Kyurem, essentially is what that's for. So late game, I can, if I have an opportunity to win with Kyurem, I can just Tailwind, get Kyurem in, and then hopefully win from there. But Talonflame looks super duper good. Like I said, my opponent just really doesn't have a switch into Talonflame aside from Slowbro. So, and I feel like with Kyurem, Manectric, and like, you know, Florges and Gastrodon, I should be able to weaken the Slowbro enough that Talonflame can put in the work. So, yeah, keys to the game is just chipping things down. I think using Talonflame early, Manectric early, those two U-turn Volt Switchers, Kyurem Black like early to mid game to try to break something, and then find an opening for LycanROCK to come in and start Excel Rocking and Sucker Punching things. Should be able to win the game that way. So that's going to be our strategy this week. I do think it's a winnable game. It's going to be tough though, because like I said, a kind of a tricky set, like a Dragon Dancing or a Calm Mind Latios could kind of throw me off, but that's what LycanROCK's for, so hopefully we can put ourselves in a situation to beat that thing, and we just have to manage our switches properly, kind of think late game, and understanding what the biggest threat is, and kind of make those plays. But it should be a winnable game, so hopefully we can pick it up a W. Hit that like button down below, subscribe if you guys are new, and the match will be posted tomorrow. Get ready for that, guys. I'm excited, and let's make it happen. Go Vikavolts. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.